downtown. Someone there telling me not to hang around. It's been a long, long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Are you really?
There's a whole other verse, but yes.
Wait, get closer to the mic.
I'm pretty close to the mic.
Oh, wait.
How about... Oh.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't have it turned on. So you're just going to need to do all that again.
I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me, please. But he keep knocking me on my knees.
What is this?
It's Sam Cooke. It's been a long... Or a change is going to come.
Should I know that?
It's a song I feel weird singing sometimes because it's pretty...
It feels inappropriate for you to sing it?
It feels that way, but it's a really good song, and I like it. And I love the lyrics in it.
It still feels...
I want a change to come.
Well, so there's like a possibility that I'm like really messed up right now on lead poisoning.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So I was working on my guitar earlier today, and I was soldering, and I did not realize that solder still had lead in it.
I had no idea.
I thought they got rid of it. I thought they banned lead in solder.
What's the purpose of lead in solder?
I mean, it's really good. Like, it's a metal, so it's, creates electrical contact. But it like melts. Like, I think it's like melting point, and then the whatever they call it. You would think an engineer would know this.
Not material stuff. I don't know stuff.
I know, but I'm a mechanical engineer.
Oh,
you would think I would know.
Yeah.
But anyway, like the point where it like it dries back in, because solder, it'll melt really quickly and then dry back up and harden really quickly.
Do you know what happens if you pick these different things?
I think those are different difficulties.
No. This tells you which one you like more. Do you know what it does to the game? Since you like 2 more than 3, I'll pick 2. I'm going normal.
I thought you were going to go European extreme.
I don't know if I'm up for that right now. I can if it's important to you.
No, it's up to you. So for me, so the guitar, I was soldering, and I was definitely inhaling some lead fumes, not realizing that it has lead in it still. And I'm doing it in a room that has no ventilation. So if I die part of the way through this, I mean, we'll know.
We'll know it's lead poisoning.
We'll know what it is. Okay.
So how much of this?
So we're playing Metal Gear Solid 3.
Which he hates.
I don't hate it.
Hates it.
It's my least favorite Metal Gear Solid, which is blasphemy in the Metal Gear Solid community.
Because it's the best
apparently.
one.
No, Peace Walker.
Oh.
Peace Walker is the best one.
It's got a cool horse scene, but this is better.
Peace Walker, definitely.
So how much of this 40-minute intro scene do we want to watch? Because it's 40 minutes.
39 minutes.
It's 40 minutes.
39 minutes.
We're gonna skip it. There's a part with a cigar. We skipped that.
I don't appreciate you skipping it.
We jumped out of the plane.
And we're capturing on PS3, should be noted.
Yeah.
The HD collection.
But since you didn't know what happens when you select Metal Gear, I like Metal Gear Solid 2.
Right.
You're going to see in a second.
But I do like Metal Gear Solid 2.
I know, but this is what we selected, and it's going to change the...
I'm going to say something super controversial.
Uh-oh.
Metal Gear Solid 2, better than Metal Gear Solid 3. Easily.
You just said that. We've said that.
I know, but I felt like reiterating it.
It feels reiterated. Can you sense what's going to happen?
Yeah, it's Snake.
It's not Snake.
It's Naked Snake. It's Big Boss.
No, it's none of those people. Get ready.
Oh, yeah, Raiden.
It's Raiden now.
Yeah.
It's Raidanikov or whatever. Remember, there's a Russian colonel or whatever, and he's got Raiden's face. His name is Raidenkov. Remember that?
No, it's a scientist.
No, it's a military commander. Would you like to go toe-to-toe on this?
I mean, in this game, it's
not a scientist. It's a military officer.
But in this game, when you get the scientist outfit,
you get
it's got Raiden's face.
You use the scientist outfit to go capture Rydenkov and then put on his military uniform and this mask. I'm 1,000% on it. Let's go rescue Sokolov.
I don't believe it.
Woo! I'm right. I'm 1,000% on it.
Okay. So tell me why you like Metal Gear. Why everyone likes Metal Gear Solid 3.
It's hard to say. I'm not doing a great job.
I agree so far. It is definitely very hard to say.
Yeah. I can't quite put my finger on it. I just like it more.
More than what?
In 2. I think it's the boss fights.
I think people are insecure with Raiden.
I think it's
because
the
they're
boss
insecure with their
fights.
sexuality.
I love Raiden. Oh my God, there's so much. We're still doing intro cutscenes.
See, now he's not Raiden anymore.
And now he moved me all the way back here. I just did this. All right, here we go. Boom. All right, let's see how fast I can do this. Okay. So, why did you want to talk about Villainous? What was the name of that city or country?
Vilnius?
Vilnius.
I don't really want to talk about it. I just want to watch the video.
Oh.
Why would I want to talk about it? I don't know anything about Vilnius. Other than it is apparently the G-spot of Europe.
Yes.
That's what I know about it.
Your backpack, Snake.
I see you.
Okay. Well, while it's doing a cutscene, we're going to watch this.
Do it. I think that says it all.
That's all. It's just Vilnius is the G-spot of Europe. Do you know why they say that? You know why they went that ad campaign?
No. Why?
Because apparently the deeper meaning to it is it's the G-spot of Europe, which
it's hard to find.
It's hard to find. Nobody knows where it is. It's hard to find, but once you get there, amazing things happen.
What are they known for? Are they known for anything at all?
The only thing I know them from is Hunt for Red October.
Oh, what did they do in that?
So have you seen the Hunt for Red October?
You made me watch it.
No, we didn't watch the Hunt for Red October.
What did we watch?
We watched Crimson Tide.
Oh yeah, it's a red something. Okay,
Yeah.
with a submarine.
Yeah.
Well,
the Hunt for Red October is also a submarine.
That's why I got confused.
But it's a Soviet submarine.
Hey, look
it's
at
Sean
these
Connery.
alligators that you hate.
I do. It's Sean Connery. The Hunt for Red October is Sean Connery.
I did know that. I did know that he's on the cover of the VHS.
It's a John Grisham novel, I think. Or no, not Tom Clancy. It's in the Jack Ryan series.
I didn't realize that.
It's in the Tom Clancy series, or it's in the Jack Ryan series. Alec Baldwin plays Jack Ryan in the Hunt for Red October. What's his name? Sean Connery. He plays the Russian captain of the Soviet submarine, the Red October. But he's originally Lithuanian because they were part of the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
And Vilnius is in Lithuania.
Yep.
He was from Vilnius, so his nickname was the Vilnius Schoolmaster.
Hey, tell me about the Metal Gear Solid movie it's coming out while I mess with it, while I ruin this guy's day.
Well, okay.
As I'm going to.
So they're making a Metal Gear Solid movie, and this actually happened a little while ago. The guy who's working on it, Jordan Vogt Roberts, who apparently worked on Kong Skull Island, which I didn't know because I haven't watched it. Have you seen Kong Skull Island?
No, I haven't.
I don't know if that's a good movie or not. Anyway, he's apparently directing the Metal Gear Solid movie that has been in development for approximately 38 years.
Yeah, show us a picture.
And so he started releasing concept art, right? And I got to admit, I think it looks quite good, actually.
Yeah, it does. I'm so surprised.
I was really surprised by that because, like, I was expecting it to be like an adaptation, right? Where it was like going to be some Hollywood. Like, did you ever see the Doom movie? Mm-hmm, and like, there was some stuff that looked like Doom, but like a lot of stuff didn't.
Prince of Persia.
I never saw Prince of Persia. Or what was? Oh, did you ever see the Max Payne movie? Grossly disappointing.
Who is in it? Who
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg.
He played Max
Seems
Payne.
like it could work.
I know. Really bad movie.
Didn't work.
Really disappointing.
Didn't work.
Anyway, So I felt like this movie was going to be the same, but it's not. Like, according to this concept art, man, this concept art looks really good. Like, that's straight up Metal Gear Rex.
I gotta be honest,
and Psycho Mantis.
I've never looked at concept art for a movie that I cared about before. So how often does good concept art imply that it's going to be a neat movie?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if this has any correlation. And he said like some of this concept art isn't really have anything to do with the movie itself as much as it does just like the direction, how he wants things to look. The thing I find interesting as you look through these pictures is the way it mixes so many different games, right? Because you go here.
It's from all over the whole thing.
Right, because you go here, okay, this is clearly Metal Gear Solid 1. It's Psycho Mantis, Metal Gear Rex, and all that stuff. This is Metal Gear Rex, okay. But this, he's still got the look of Snake from 1, but he's got the active camo that you had in
From
4. And here, he looks like Snake from 1, but this is clearly that scene from 2.
Yeah.
Where you walk into the corridor and find all the dead bodies.
Wait. No, that's 1.
No, that's 2.
No, it's 1.
No, that's 2.
That's 1.
There was a scene similar in 1. Because 2 was originally a recreation of 1.
2 is Vamp.
So, okay, so that one, that could be either way.
2 was Vamp. 1 was the cyborg.
No, 2, well, so when you go into that room, you don't see. When you first go into that room in the big shell, you don't see who caused the carnage.
Right, that's true.
That's true. I guess I thought it was the ninja, but maybe not. Either way, this is clearly from 4.
Yeah.
Right? Except for he still kind of looks like he's young from 1. This is from 3.
With the best one.
Incorrect.
This is
this is 4, but in Shadow Moses.
Yeah.
Which I guess Shadow Moses was in 4.
Yeah.
So this was but those walkers weren't, those Metal Gears weren't in.
They were
the mission, the Shadow Moses mission.
They were.
I didn't think so.
No, they were when you land. They weren't in the actual complex of Shadow Moses, but where you land the helicopter, they're patrolling out there.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they were wild.
I haven't played 4 since like 2009.
Ah.
Well, this is clearly 2. This is 1. This is 1. I mean, I really like the look of Rex. This is 1.
Or NES. I think the only time you fight him is in the NES. The only time you fight Gray Fox is in NES.
You find him in 1.
Oh, that's right. But you don't. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, the beginning. It's really early on.
This is from 3.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
But that's not really Rex. I don't really know what that's from.
4.
Oh, is this that room that you crawl through at the end?
Yeah.
The radiation?
Yes.
The microwave?
Yes. GW.
Oh, yeah. So, I don't know. I think this looks actually surprisingly good.
Yeah, I like it. I like the art.
Yeah, the art. I want to set some of these as my wallpaper.
Who was it you said was planning on doing the directing, or
it's
they have signed up?
Jordan Vogt Roberts.
And he did something cool?
I don't know. He did Kong Skull Island.
Oh, right.
But I haven't seen it. I don't know if it's any good.
Neither. Yeah.
But he also got stuff like, he got Tazia Valenza to do like a short video. She does, I think she was the voice of Sniper Wolf in MGS1.
What does it do?
It's like a codec thing.
Let me see.
Saladin, is that you? It's been a while since we spoke. Did you miss me? I was freed from the battlefield long ago, set free by a snake eating its own tail. And while I can finally rest, that director Jordan Vogt Roberts is working hard to bring this adaptation to life. And he wanted to say thus far it has been amazing to watch fans send in their artwork, tattoos, and share their Metal Gear memories. Please keep sharing with us, and be loud about your passion for this franchise. With that being said, I personally think he's a foolish man. I can't believe it's been 31 years. We hope that this artwork sends a message to the fans of how much we appreciate their support. We only have one more week left. I can't believe it's almost over. Much like you in the sights of my scope, your time is fleeting.
What happens in a week?
Well, so he was showing different concept art every week. That's where this art, he was doing like one a week or something like that. And she was saying there was only 1 week left. And there's also another one from
machines.
Revolver Ocelot.
Hind D. A weapon?
Or
to
not
surpass
from
Metal
David
Gear?
Hayter.
I'm sick of asking questions. Colonel, I have something I need to say.
It gets weird. And this is really long,
Last
so I don't want to
31
tell
days
thing.
have made it clear that to an entire
Or no, he was doing it
generation,
one every day.
experiencing Metal Gear
For 31,
Solid
because it's
has
31st
shaped us.
anniversary.
It has changed us. It has been incredible watching the box die induced accelerated aging.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it gets weird. It gets super weird.
Movies.
Anyway. So I don't know. I'm not I can't say I'm excited about the movie given the history of video game movie adaptations. But it looks better than I would have expected. So that's something.
Whoops, wrong one.
Maybe it's because the controls in this game are really bad.
No, I got it.
I think it's probably because... Okay. So this is why I don't like Metal Gear Solid 3.
No, I just hit the wrong fruit.
No, let me explain why I don't like Metal Gear Solid 3.
Oh, hit it.
Because I feel like the controls don't mesh with the design of the game.
I've never experienced that. It's fine. You just can't move when you shoot, and you shouldn't move when you shoot in real life.
Right,
either.
but the levels are designed.
Here,
okay.
Did you know you could do this? Hold on.
Yeah. Did you know you don't have to?
I know. You can go around the side.
Yeah.
I like doing that. It's fun.
So here's the problem. So in Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, so the problem with the controls in this game is you have to use the right stick to move the camera around, which, to be fair, we're playing the subsistence version of it, which doesn't have the top-down camera. Although you can actually do it if you click in R3. Then it goes back to the old style.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's horrible.
Yeah, it's bad.
That one, I remember that was hard, especially up on the mountain. That it's really difficult to see where you're going.
Yeah.
Without the
So this
can.
game was really designed to be able to move the right stick around and see 360 degrees, right? Mm-hmm. But you still have to shoot with the square button. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't have like shooter style controls. And then when you go to like Metal Gear Solid 4 and 5, and even Peace Walker, especially if you played on PS3, it has more shooter style controls. So, you can move around and you can aim with the left trigger and shoot with the right trigger and all that stuff. And to me, it feels like this one still has the control style. Well, I mean, it does still have the control style of 1 and 2. But 1 and 2 were designed in such a way with the top-down view and the way the levels were, they were all just corridors and hallways and small rooms and stuff like that, that you really only had to focus on one direction at a time when you were in a firefight or engaging people. And in this game, I feel like, especially in this area right here, when you get into the fight here in a second, right, there's people all around you. So you're constantly having to look in all directions, and the controls aren't set up for it. And it makes it more difficult to play.
I hear you. It's just not been my experience because, I mean, you're always given an opportunity to stay still and shoot. So...
Right, but you have to shoot all around you because there's people. It's a more 360 degree environment, and I don't feel like the controls are conducive.
I think he noticed me. Too bad.
I just feel like the controls aren't conducive
There's a guy down here.
to 360.
There's a guy down here. I remember vividly. Yep, there he is. Let's see if I can grab him.
Coincidentally, this is also why I love Peace Walker, but only on the PS3. Because if you try to play on the PSP, the controls are kind of abysmal too. But if you play it on the PS3, it's amazing. Because you got the dual stick controls like you do for Metal Gear Solid 4.
I'm going to jack this guy.
And it's great.
It's going to be dope. What's up?
Was it great? I feel like it's not great.
Answer me. He doesn't have anything to say. Goodbye.
Now, I will objectively admit that this game has a great story. And it sets up what ended up being the better storyline.
Ooh, I got a trophy.
I know, because I apparently didn't play this on
You're
PS3.
bad at Metal Gear.
No, I didn't play this at all on PS3. I played it on Vita. And I mean, I played it on PS2 several times. But I played it on Vita twice. So, granted, this is my least favorite Metal Gear Solid game. Still a good game. Still a game that I like. It's still Metal Gear Solid, right? And again, it sets up the storyline that I really love, which is Peace Walker and Metal Gear Solid 5, which was really good until it wasn't finished.
I've given it some thought now, and I think Metal Gear 2 is
Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2 has probably the hardest boss fights, in my opinion, but like only because there's 2 of them that are insanely difficult. But 3 has just like consistently really like every boss fight on the hardest difficulty is just mind-numbingly difficult. Like it's going to take you 2 or 3 hours the first time you experience it. Or that wasn't always the case with Metal Gear 2. The last few bosses were pretty rough, but this one, all the bosses are pretty tight.
See, I just feel like Metal Gear Solid 2. I mean, Metal Gear Solid 1, for me, still has the best bosses. Like, I love Sniper Wolf, Vulcan Raven. Psycho Mantis is amazing.
I don't know. The end is pretty good in this one.
The end is good. The end is the one that I remember the most. Obviously, the boss
Best
at the
boss
end
fight of all
is
time.
good.
Oh, yeah, it's real good.
The boss is good. I kind of like the Ocelot fight.
Across the Chasm?
Across the Chasm. I kind of like that.
We'll be there in no time.
But 2 has some good boss fights too. Mm-hmm. We were just talking about this today, and I forgot about him.
Did you know that if you shake this fella, if you shake Ocelot, he'll give you a mousetrap? Boom.
Okay, no, I did not know that. What does the mousetrap do for you?
You can trap mice.
Awesome.
And then devour them.
Awesome.
For sustenance.
I also noticed that, so this might be a difference. You're not paying any attention to the camouflage.
I would if it were difficult. If it were on a higher difficulty, I would be paying attention to camouflage, but I don't need it.
See, when I pay attention, when I play...
I'm not a noob.
Fuck you. When I play, I mean, I'm constantly doing the different camo. So I'm constantly going in and out of the menus.
Mm-hmm. It's worth it. It's worth it.
And especially when you play on PS2 or Vita, the menus like are slow to load.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's not as bad on PS3.
Yeah, it's been so long, but since I remember doing it. But yeah, if we got to the higher difficulties, I would do the camo, but I don't need it. I know where all the bad guys are.
Yeah, so I don't know. I appreciate 3. I just feel like 2 holds a soft spot. I feel like it's more nostalgia because 1 holds a soft spot for me. Because 1 for me was the first game where I was like, I remember because I didn't have a PlayStation originally. Mm-hmm. I had a Nintendo 64.
Yeah, me too.
So I didn't get a PlayStation until very late. Mm-hmm. And I played Metal Gear Solid late. And I remember being like, holy crap, this is what games can be. Like story driven with cutscenes mm-hmm. and being blown away by it. And I'll never forget the Psycho Mantis fight where it's like, it reads your memory card, and then it's telling you games that you played. And then it's like, you got to plug your controller into the other thing. And then it does the Hideo, like it's your TV turning the input off. And I just remember being like, this is so trippy. This is awesome. And then Metal Gear Solid 2, I have nostalgia because I had it on PS2 and I played that game 24 times.
I thought I was having a seizure during the last act of Metal Gear 2. Whenever you end up naked on Arsenal,
yeah,
like I had been playing,
and it starts playing those videos of that woman.
I had been doing like Cheetos and Mountain Dew, and it was like 4 a.m. when I got there, and I was like, "Is this happening?" I was concerned. No one else is awake to see this.
Would that be a seizure? I don't feel like that would be a seizure.
I don't know. Do you not see things in seizures? I thought I was hallucinating.
Hallucination.
I thought I was hallucinating.
I don't know.
Kuwabara. I like that. I like the part that we're gonna skip right now, where the pain goes.
Yeah, it's almost
blood has been rejected.
It's almost kind of like to play a Metal Gear Solid game and skip all the cutscenes and codecs, right? It's like going to a tea party and not drinking tea.
Yeah. Well, I
just eating the scones.
I love the gameplay.
I don't know. I just don't love it for 3. Now 5.
What are you?
If I were to replay 5, I'd skip all the cutscenes and just play the game because the gameplay of 5 is stellar.
Did you know you don't have to do these in order?
Yeah, I know.
What are you? You're a cut.
God, you have clearly played this game a lot.
So Star Trek's in the news, right?
Well, so here's the thing. Kind of, but not really.
Ah.
So I'm actually finding this shockingly difficult to find news stories about it. But apparently, CBS is being sued for plagiarism on Star Trek Discovery.
What did they do?
So, there's a guy. He's an Egyptian video game developer. His name is Anas Abdin. And he is suing CBS for plagiarism on Star Trek Discovery based on his game called... Can you take a guess what the game is called?
Discovery.
No. It's called Tardigrades.
Ooh. Okay, I'm listening.
Okay. So in this game... So in this game, the game is essentially about a blue giant tardigrade that can travel instantly through the universe. And there is a scientist, a mycelial, astromycelial, whatever Stamets was called in Discovery.
Yeah.
Same thing in here.
Huh.
And he ends up taking some of the tardigrade blood and injects it into himself to be able to travel the universe.
Well, that seems a little plagiarizing.
Yeah, it gets even worse. So you see here's the main character of his game.
Oh man.
And she was found guilty of treason in the beginning of the game.
Oh no.
Yeah. This guy, he's supposed to be Egyptian in the game.
Oh, did Kevin
But
Spacey
he's
mess
gay
with
and he's in a relationship with this guy in the game. It's so bad. It was like, ooh, that's rough.
Yeah.
It looks pretty bad.
It does. It looks very plagiarized. Now that you say that.
And this game came out. In 20. So it came out in 2016, or 2017, which was the same year Discovery came out. However, it came out on Steam Greenlight, which is like user submitted
yeah, I know Steam.
Yeah. Hey, I want to make this game.
Yeah.
Approve it or not. Back in 2014.
Yes.
So before Star Trek Discovery was even announced. Like a year before Star Trek Discovery was announced.
And why are we just now hearing about this?
So apparently, people, when the show came on back in 2017, people started... actually, look at this. So this is from his blog post where he did about it. You can even see it's got the same blue particle thing happens when they do it. Look at this. This is the tardigrade going through the...
I was ambushed by the boss.
That is
traveling.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
It's up in flames.
So apparently he contacted him back in 2017
What was the boss doing here?
and said, "Hey, there's like a lot of similarities here, right? And I'm really like concerned about this."
Yeah.
And CBS apparently just told him to fuck off. Like, in fact, they told him that if he stopped doing it, they wouldn't sue him. And it was like, what the hell are you doing? So he eventually sued them. And so that's why it just came out now, because he just filed the lawsuit like last week.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, he's gonna win. I mean, right?
Well, I don't know.
So watch this. Get ready. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna work. It's gonna work 100%. It worked. Fuck all you guys.
There's something wrong though.
Your stuff is weak.
Your kung fu is weak.
They'll be fine.
See, you're not playing it stealthy at all.
I am
When I
playing
play this, I
stealthy.
try to play stealthy.
I am playing stealthy. I haven't been seen, man. I have 0 times have been seen.
But you're not sneaking around. You're just taking
You don't
people
have
out
to.
quickly.
You don't have to. You have to get sneaky later on, but this part's sneaky.
Okay, so here's where I'm going to kind of blow your mind on the Star Trek thing now.
Blow my mind.
There's a potential. I think there's a potential.
To combine them.
No. I think there's a potential. And I'm not even saying it's like it's a strong possibility, but there is some possibility that this is actually a stunt by CBS.
You think so?
I think it's possible because I'm not seeing this reported on any major sites. I've only seen it in like YouTube channels and some sites here and there. And what was interesting was he says his thing's on Steam Greenlight, but I went to Steam to search for this game.
And it's not there?
I couldn't find it.
Huh.
And now I'm going to give spoilers for season 1 of Discovery. So if anybody hasn't seen it,
Spoiler alert.
spoiler alert.
3,
And
2,
I think I'll try to put an overlay on the video
Do it.
until we're done talking about the
Ooh,
spoilers.
I'm going to ruin this guy's life.
Okay, so if you don't want to hear spoilers for Discovery, we're starting spoilers now. I'm sorry, I just blinded. Or I just like made RIP headphone users. No, okay. So in season 1 of Discovery, right?
Yeah.
Ash Tyler is, of course, also Voke, right?
Yeah.
Well, he was played by the same actor. Those two characters were played by the same actor. It wasn't even just like, oh, they were actually the same person. Yeah, because it was like Voke got transformed into Ash Tyler.
No way! I had no idea. So the
Yeah,
guy
they
who
were
played
played-
Ash Tyler was played by holy
Also
crap.
played Voke.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and so okay, so to hide that though, they invented a completely different actor, and that's who got the credit for playing Voke. Is this completely different actor who it
That's
turns
cool.
out like if you so they said, oh, here's this actor that's playing Voke, and they gave him some, I forget what it was, but they gave him some name, and people were like, wait, this actor doesn't have any credits, like he didn't have an IMDb page or anything like that, right? So they were like, well, who the hell is this guy? And then people went and started searching the name that they gave, and it was like actually some serial killer from the 80s or something. The name that they were using as the actor that played Voke.
Wow. So that's
So
not-
it was like this huge elaborate thing because they were trying to hide the
Yeah.
fact that it was Ash Tyler.
So it's not impossible that they might.
It's not impossible. So a bit of a Alex Jones conspiracy theory here. CBS is running
Damn.
a PR stunt here, where maybe this is going to be like some kind of tie-in or something like that, and this is like weird guerrilla marketing.
Yeah, that's possible. So has
But here's the weird
how
thing.
about this? Has CBS issued a
I don't-
statement saying
I don't-
this is like that we take this seriously or that we're sorry or anything like that?
I don't think so. Not that I've seen.
That would lend more credibility to it being real.
Well, yeah. Well, and here's the thing. If you were going to do some kind of guerrilla marketing stunt like this, why would you do it as plagiarism? Right? That doesn't make a lot of sense. There's other ways to do tie-ins that are like undercover that you just drop stuff out there that don't end up with like, oh, here's a person filing a lawsuit against CBS in a court, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm only giving it like a 20% chance that this is some kind of stunt by CBS. But I do think there is some kind of possibility.
Why can't I open this? Why can't I open this?
I don't know.
No, it got me. I thought there was a grenade in here, but I guess I'm wrong. Where's the door? There it is. Yeah, now I can see. Okay, that's better. Okay, yeah, that is the really only one.
There you go.
All right, now we meet Eva. See, it takes no time to meet Eva.
Yeah, if you don't watch cutscenes,
Yeah,
I guess it doesn't.
yeah. It would. We would still be in the intro.
Actually, yeah, we
Yeah,
probably still would.
We would 100% still be in the intro.
Yeah, we've only been recording for 30
yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
She's right, Snake.
We
You should
definitely
get some
would.
sleep. Although in your condition, you really ought to be back in the ICU.
So, you know what I wanted to
Whenever
play
you save
What's
the
that?
game and quit,
this weekend?
you'll go to sleep. Sleeping allows.
I kind of wanted to play football.
Like
Madden or NCAA.
I've never played one.
Yeah. So I wanted to because college football season starts this weekend.
Yeah.
Well, it started last night, technically. But the first game I care about is tomorrow,
Yeah.
which is my team's first game. But here's the thing. I thought that it might be pretty insensitive, given what happened last weekend.
What happened last weekend?
That shooting at the Madden tournament.
I had no idea.
You didn't know about that?
Oh, was that a Madden tournament?
Yeah.
I remember it happening, but like I didn't know. I knew it was a video game thing. I didn't know it was a Madden thing.
Yeah, there was that mass shooting at a Madden tournament. 2 people died and like 11 more people got injured. So I was
they
like,
saw me. I got seen. It doesn't matter.
so that kind of was like, oh, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's not such a good idea.
I'm eating it. I'm eating it all of a sudden. I feel like we should do this. I'm surprised that I didn't get all them with that.
Wait, what did you just do?
Just took a death pill. That's the only way to play this game. If you
I don't think I've ever used it.
No, you use it to start over easy. Otherwise, you should deal with everybody. Like it's not worth it.
But why don't you just go ahead and die?
Because it takes so long to die. It takes ages to die.
Well, okay, but I don't know. This isn't how I do things.
Tense.
Anyway.
You feel the tension? They're gonna open that door.
So yeah. So I felt like I really wanted to play football, but I felt like it would be insensitive given the mass.
So
shooting.
Donald Trump is
giving all the mass shootings that we have all the time. But that's the thing. Like I feel like if I play it anytime, there'll be another mass shooting.
Yeah.
Because there's one like all the time. Did you? Speaking of Donald Trump, though, I was reading a tweet. Somebody was talking about how it's back in July or something like that. How well clearly Donald Trump must be doing something right because there's been no school shootings for a while.
Oh.
And somebody was like, "It's summer."
Oh,
there's no school.
There's no school. He didn't say that, did he?
No, Donald Trump didn't say that.
Okay.
So like a Donald Trump supporter said like, "Oh, there has been a shooting in like a month." And it's like in 2 months. It's like there's been no school in 2 months.
Yeah, everybody's in a good mood.
Well, that's not really what happens. But I think. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go on a rant about guns now.
Go on a rant.
This
about
is
guns.
a little bit of improv. I'm gonna surprise you. I'm gonna go on a rant on both sides
about your deep love of guns.
No, I don't have a deep love of guns. I'm extra liberal, right? So I'm very extra on this. So how can I have a deep love of guns?
Speaking of guns, speaking of gun violence, headshot. Anywho, carry on.
My thing is, okay, here's my rant. And I'm going to go 2 rants actually in this. My first rant is against the pro-gun people. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm sick and tired of the nonsense. I'm sick and tired of like the stupid arguments about like the only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Right? And we're having school shootings and therefore we should give guns to teachers. Because if we just introduce more guns to the situation, it'll make things better. And it's like, no. Like, I feel like that should be obvious on its face.
Yeah, that more of the problem won't solve the problem.
Right. But the thing is,
So
this is the thing. They've convinced people that the problem isn't actually the guns, that it's like something else. That it's mental health or some other shit. And this is the thing, because like I especially hate the mental health thing. Like, and actually, ironically, then this is another thing, because we focus so much on the gun violence problem, just in terms of mass shooters. But mass shootings are actually very common if you take the definition of it, which is like at least 4 people injured, right?
Yeah.
That actually happens quite a lot. But it's not in the way you normally think of, like the Madden shooting. They're not, or like a school shooting. Generally, like 4 people get shot in like, some gang violence or something like that. And so that counts as a mass shooting. But the problem is, overall, mass shootings account for a very small percentage of gun violence. Right? Most gun violence is suicide.
I was going to say in the home, but yeah.
Well, yeah, most gun violence is in the home. Most gun deaths are suicide. And people kind of dismiss that. They go like, oh, well, 2/3 of gun deaths are suicides. So like, why are we even talking about this? As if like they're like completely not linked.
Like they don't matter.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Well, because I see it as like it's a personal thing. Like somebody just tries to commit suicide, they'll just commit suicide. And it doesn't matter if they have a gun or not.
You know what I think about those people? They sound guilty.
They sound guilty.
People who don't care about suicide sounds like they might be the kind of people who might want a way out before the cops get there.
Well, so that I don't know what to do with that. But I think that whole thing. So this is issue number one I have with the nonsense, which is this idea that because most gun deaths are suicides, therefore stop looking at gun control as a way to fix that, right?
Yeah.
When in fact, the link between gun ownership and increased risk of suicide is actually higher than the increased risk of homicide. So when you look at the statistical link between owning a gun and committing either homicide or suicide, the link is higher for suicide than it is homicide.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
And in fact, in Australia, when they did their big gun buyback program in '96, right? Mm-hmm. They showed, there was a decrease in homicides that went along with it.
Yeah.
But it was kind of difficult to tell because homicides were already decreasing. Mm-hmm. So they say it's kind of difficult to tell how much of a statistical impact the gun buyback had on the homicide rate. Mm-hmm. But there was a much larger drop in the number of suicides. Yeah. And they said it's actually pretty statistically solid.
Yeah.
That buying back these guns and reducing the number of guns held by people reduce suicide rates. And part of the reason is because suicide by gun is so effective. Yeah. It's over 85% of suicide attempts by gun.
That seems low.
Well, I know, right? You'd think it would be like 90-something%. Whereas for like pill overdoses or cutting or something like that, right? It's like 20%. So when people try to overdose on pills to commit suicide, it's only effective like 20% of the time.
Yeah, I've heard
80% of the time they survive.
Yeah,
right?
I've heard that don't do Advil though, because it doesn't work and it leaves you in horrible pain.
Well, don't try to do any of it because it's not very effective.
Don't make any attempts to commit suicide is what I meant.
Right. Okay, yeah. So actually, here it is right here. According to a Harvard study, guns have an 82.5% effectiveness, drowning 65.9%, hanging 61%, poison by gas 41%.
What a macabre list of statistics.
Jumping, like off a bridge, 34.5%, which actually I thought was pretty low. Actually, I was wrong. It's not 20% for overdose. It's 1.5%.
Oh, that 1.5% effective?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And cutting is 1.2%. And here's the thing. So guns, if you try to commit suicide by gun, you're going to be successful most of the time. Mm-hmm. But if you try to commit suicide by like jumping, you're going to be unsuccessful most of the time. And 90% of people that unsuccessfully attempt suicide don't end up dying by suicide.
Oh, really?
Right. So if you attempt because suicide is a very fleeting thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And they say like if you can get to somebody, if you can delay someone and their suicide attempt by 2 hours, statistically, it's very likely that they'll make it out. They won't try. Mm-hmm. Right? It's a very in the moment kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so, and when people try to commit suicide and it doesn't work, they're very likely to not try again. Right? So if they don't have access to guns, which are super effective at committing suicide, then even if they try to attempt suicide, they're very likely to survive the attempt and then not commit suicide again, not try again. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's one. I hate the whole thing of just dismiss the suicide statistics because we actually have a very strong link between suicide.
Killed that dog.
What an asshole. How dare you?
I know. I killed the shit out of that dog, though. He's super dead. Oh, hey, there's a guy. I'm going to kill him, too.
I'm kind of concerned about you right now.
No, it's fine. It's
I don't feel like... I feel like this might be the last episode.
Hey, they're Russians.
You are really pretentious.
They're Russians. It's fine.
You are really pretentious.
It's not what pretentious means. It's not what it means.
Should I not call you pretentious?
Please don't.
Zing.
Don't call me pretentious.
Like, comment, subscribe. Actually, yes, we have a name now. Like, comment, subscribe. I don't know. Do all the shit. Share, whatever.
I missed him.
Oh, actually, plug, and I'll mention this again at the end. I should have mentioned it at the beginning. We have an email address now. If you want to send us an email. So I feel like we're just going to get a lot of hate mail, especially by gun owners right now. So I'm taking things into my own hands here. But it's don'tcallmepretentious@gmail.com. We also have Facebook. Don't Call Me Pretentious. So facebook.com/Don't Call Me Pretentious. We have a Twitter. So twitter.com/DCM Pretentious. Because apparently Don't Call Me Pretentious is too long of a Twitter handle. And Twitter won't let you have it. So I tried to get not pretentious, but it was taken. That was disappointing. So is not _pretentious.
What is there a strict antonym for pretentious? Post-tentious?
No, I feel like there's not.
I want it to be post-tentious.
And technically,
we're coining it right now. If you're not
Post-tentious.
pretentious, you're post-tentious.
we're post-tentious. Is that like postmodern?
It's like postmodern, but
Are you a postmodern neo-Marxist?
pretentious. Yeah, I don't know what that means.
We'll have a discussion about it.
I didn't remember there being a hole in the fence. I always get rid of those guys, but I can just.
You don't remember? I remember the hole in the fence, and I played this game approximately 20% as much as you have.
No. I hit.
Watch out for the triple.
I saw, but there's 2 holes that I went through in the gate before this. This is the 3rd hole. I didn't know there was a 3rd hole.
You didn't know about the 3rd hole?
I didn't know about the 3rd hole. I'm just gonna run.
How do you not? I feel like of all people, you would know about a 3rd hole.
That's why I was surprised. I learned something.
Are you not getting the innuendo here? The double entendre?
No, I wasn't, but
Of the
now I
3rd
do.
hole.
No, it's about body parts now. I get
It is
that.
about body parts.
I get that. I like it. It's carnal. It's deep.
Okay, so anyway, don't call me pretentious at gmail.com, facebook.com/don't call me pretentious, twitter.com/@DCM pretentious. And we have a Twitch channel, Don't Call Me Pretentious, but don't follow us there because we don't use it.
Yet.
We probably won't.
Yet.
Jason really wants to do Twitch, but I'm just not there yet.
I can just have everybody
It's gonna
congratulate
ki-
me on how good I am at Metal Gear all the time.
It's gonna kill me on my data plan too. I just want you to know. I've already gone over my data cap for this month.
Oh.
And I've only uploaded 2 videos because we haven't done one in the last 2 weeks. So that's gonna cost me an extra $50.
You don't
this
have
month.
unlimited data?
No, because fuck Comcast.
Oh yeah, fuck Comcast. That sucks, man.
And fucking net neutrality repeal. Oh my god, I'm gonna go around about net neutrality, but not right now.
Yeah, you should just give.
I gotta
me-
finish my gun control rant.
Just give me the file, and I'll do it for free. I have infinity data.
Okay, but is it fast?
I mean, it doesn't matter.
I
I'll
could
go to bed and do it.
No, but here's the thing, because you're not here.
Right, just give it.
So
to me.
like, I'm gonna edit it tomorrow, and you're not gonna get it until Monday, and I want to post it on Sunday, because I gotta do all the editing and all the annotations and all that crap.
Yeah, I just figured you could do it. Like we could.
I can do it. I just have to. Apparently, I just have to pony up the extra $50 a month for unlimited data.
Oh man, look at you.
And then that's okay. My bill is already $200 a month.
Look how far we've made it. People forget how short this game actually is.
I like this fight.
I do too.
Okay, so back to the point though, gun control. So big problem number 1, dismissing suicide. Big problem number 2, saying that guns don't kill people, blah, 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 whatever, right? Basically saying guns aren't the problem. Where there is a statistical link between gun ownership and homicide rate. So, gun owners were 3.24 times more likely to die of suicide, as we mentioned, and 2 times more likely to die as homicide than non-gun owners. That's across the entire United States. And further, gun ownership is a significant predictor of firearm homicide rates, with an incidence rate of 1.009, with a 95% confidence rate. Blah, blah, blah. Basically, this model indicates that for each percentage point increase in gun ownership, the firearm homicide rate increased by 0.9%. So when you look at any particular area, if gun ownership increases by 1%,
Get out of there.
homicide rate increases by 1%.
Huh? So they're directly proportional.
It's like almost directly linked. Now they go on to say it's tough to prove causation.
Yeah.
Because anytime you try to prove, and people are like, oh, well, that could be correlation, not causation, right?
Yeah.
Even though this study controlled, hold on, I got to find all the things that this study controlled for, because it was insane. They controlled for an absurd number of factors, right? But yeah, it is pretty.
You fool!
This game is
Okay.
trivially easy on.
Here are the
normal.
factors that they controlled for when finding this link. proportion of young adults, proportion of young males, proportion of blacks, proportion of Hispanics, level of urbanization, educational attainment, poverty status, unemployment, median household income, income inequality, per capita alcohol consumption, non-homicide violent crime rate, including aggravated assault, robbery, and forcible rape, non-violent property crime rate, hate crime rate, prevalence of hunting licenses, and divorce rate.
Oh.
Those are all the things they controlled for when showing the statistical correlation between gun ownership and homicide rate.
Yeah, and it's still
1% to 1%. To account for regional differences, we controlled for U.S. Census region. In addition, to capture unspecified factors that may be associated with firearm homicide rates, we controlled for the annual age-adjusted rate of non-firearm firearm homicide rates in each state. We also controlled for state-specific incarceration rates and suicide rates. So they're controlling for a bunch of shit there. Right? And there's still like, yeah, it's almost a 1-to-1.
It's still 1-to-1.
So 1-to-1. Owning a gun makes you more likely to. Because here's the thing. Most deaths are personal.
Yeah.
It's people killing somebody they know, not going into a school and shooting something.
Strangely enough, it's so rarely not just business.
Yeah.
There is a funny quote I like about that. It's we all agree that is that you shouldn't kill people, but if money's involved, it's fine. Do whatever you want. Who is it?
Do we agree with that?
No. No, but that's the sentiment of it's just business. Every time someone says that, all they're saying is that if money's on the table, just do whatever you want.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Well, that's corporate
Michael
America.
Schwame said that.
Okay. So then point number three that I have a problem with is saying it's not the guns aren't the problem, mental illness is a problem. However, getting into the statistics again, because I'm a statistics guy. I mean, we're engineers.
Yeah,
right?
we're numbers. We like numbers.
We like models and correlation and blah blah blah. Right.
Just for the record,
The blah blah blah.
I killed Ocelot without hurting him any.
I'm gonna be honest. I would have been impressed, but I wasn't paying attention because I'm reading my notes here.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because I'm going deep in this. I've wanted to talk about this for a while.
I like it.
But I am impressed now that you mentioned it.
Yep.
It makes you feel better.
Thank you.
Okay. So, you know the blah 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 thing I'm doing. Did you see the Joe Rogan episode with Dave Rubin?
No.
Oh God, it's hilarious. We gotta talk about it at some point. There's one part of it where he's talking about that you should get rid of the post office. Mm-hmm. And he says like, because if you get rid of the post office, then you have like, you bring in like competition between like UPS and Amazon, and you got drones and blah blah blah, and it's like, wait, what is the blah blah blah?
Yeah, any blah 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 that's after drones.
Yeah, that's not a blah blah blah. I'm interested. And the hilarious thing was, then he just like proved how wrong he was in the very next thing, because he starts talking about like the only way that you can ship chickens apparently in the United States is through the USPS. UPS and FedEx and any other DHL, whatever, they won't do it because it's not profitable. So USPS is the only one that will ship chicken.
Oh my God.
So he goes on in the very next statement to say like, oh yeah, the USPS shipped me, because he started getting into chicken farming or something like that, because Joe Rogan does it too. And so he got Dave Rubin into it, and Dave was like, yeah, I started, and the USPS did a good job. They got me my chickens in like 2 days across the country. And I was like, wait, so is the post office good? I'm confused at what you're saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll talk about that some other time, because I have thoughts on Dave Rubin. But back to my point.
Yes.
Issue number 3 I have with this, the mental illness thing. When in fact, there's actually not a strong link between mental illness and gun violence. Only 3 to 5% of violent crimes are attributable to mental illness in the U.S. A study in Sweden found 5.2%, but that's in Sweden, not the U.S. Conversely, people with no mental illness but drug and alcohol abuse are 7 times more likely to commit violent crime than other people. In fact, people with mental illness are more likely to be victims of violent crime than perpetrators. Which, to be fair, everybody is, right? What I mean by that, well, like you and I, because the violence, like there's so few people that commit crime.
Yeah. Oh.
Anybody, and you're more likely to commit crime against multiple people.
That makes sense.
Then almost everybody's more likely to be a victim of a crime.
That makes sense.
Than a perpetrator.
Yep.
But what I mean by this is people with mental illness are more likely to be victims of violent crime than people without mental illness. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're no more likely to be perpetrators of violent crime than a person without mental illness. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's what I meant by that. So when people talk about mental health, like that really pisses me off because it's scapegoating a thing, and it's adding to the stigma of people with mental health issues. Now,
Because now they murder you.
well, no, but they don't.
I know, but that's what the message is.
Well, yeah, but
that's what's being...
it creates a stigma for
Yes,
mental
that's
health.
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. And in fact, I'll be honest, Obama really fed into this, and I was not happy about it.
Really?
It's actually one of the things that Trump did that I agree with. One of the early things he did, Obama passed an executive order like late 2016 before he left office, where he basically made this rule that anybody on Social Security who had an assigned caretaker that picked up their check, their Social Security check,
Yeah.
they were assigned to, they were flagged in the FBI background check database as not being able to buy a gun. So the idea was, if you're on Social Security, which SSDI is for people with disability, so you can get that for mental health issues.
Yeah.
And you have somebody who's taking care, going to pick up your checks. Therefore, the assumption is you have some kind of mental health issue that makes you not able to function enough to go pick up your own check.
That's so shitty.
And so he made it to where they couldn't buy guns. And I was like, and people like disability advocates and mental health advocates were really upset about that. And I was too, because it was perpetuating this idea of, you know, mental health being this thing that contributes to gun violence. Now, here's the thing that is ironic is, you know, they particularly looked at trying to find the link between mental illness and gun violence, so gun homicide. I do believe there is a link between mental health and like gun suicide, and of course 2/3 of gun deaths are suicides.
Yeah.
So I do think that we actually should be saying like, hey, like if you have diagnosed depression or schizophrenia, we can take your guns for a certain amount of time.
Maybe don't have an insta-kill option.
Right. And we can take your gun. And actually Florida, in the wake of Parkland, passed a law that was one of the things that they could do, is they could seize guns of someone who had, somebody reported like, hey, this person has a mental health issue, and they could go do a mental health check. And if they were diagnosed, they could have their guns taken away for like 2 months or something like that. Which I feel like, I don't know. It makes me a little queasy, but
Yeah.
if it helps reduce gun suicides,
I'm all about it.
yeah. But here's the thing. What I would rather do is change the culture, change this bullshit idea that we have that more guns is going to solve the problem, because that just increases gun ownership. But as we know, it's a one-to-one relationship between gun ownership and gun violence.
Yeah.
So, and well, and more than that, for 3.24 times more likely to die of suicide if you own a gun. You're 3.24 times more likely to die of suicide.
Here's an interesting question. How much less likely are you to die by like home invasion if you have a gun? That's an interesting number that I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's the thing.
I bet it's not much lower.
Yeah, no. So there are some studies out there that show that like there's like 200,000 defensive uses of guns every year. But it's so hard to tell what that means. And that's why the statistics on it are so sketchy.
Paul, I'm completely lost.
But here's the thing about it. The U.S. doesn't actually have particularly high rates of other kinds of crime. So the U.S. doesn't have particularly high rates of robbery, assault. Actually, we have low rates of sexual assault because our definition is too narrow.
Collusion.
We have very high rates of collusion. But we don't have very high rates of property crime, anything like that, compared to any other developed country. The only thing that we have there we are much worse on than any other country is homicide rate. And it's because guns are really effective at killing people. So like our assault rate is not much higher than it is in the UK, France, we're like below the average for the OECD. But our homicide rate is like by far the highest in the OECD.
Huh, I did not know that.
Yes. Because when you get in a fight in, Japan, right? Japan is like almost impossible to get guns. And so like they only had like 3 gun homicides in 2016.
Do you know where the most sword deaths per capita in the world are?
I feel like you're going to say Japan.
Nope. It's Scotland.
Oh, that's weird.
I know. I think they have like 100 deaths per year by sword.
That's weird. Anyway. I feel like it was kind of racist of you to say that when I mentioned Japan.
Why? Because I like swords. I just
Yes.
got out of kendo practice.
Yes. I feel like that's really racist. As a person who is somewhat Japanese, I'm deeply offended.
Ask me how I feel about kendo compared to like modern European fencing. Go on, ask.
You don't like it.
I like European fencing better.
It's because you're pretentious.
It's not about pretension.
It is pretentious. We had this discussion today. It's literally about pretension.
It's not.
It's about white pretension.
It's not about white.
You can handle the white pretentious people in fencing, and you can't handle the Japanese pretentious people.
Oh, actually, you know what? It is about pretension. It's
See?
true. No, but it's not about my pretension.
Hyper pretension.
It's not about mine.
You
It's about theirs.
You should take medicine for that.
Yeah.
For your hyper pretension.
Yeah. I'm gonna move us into a post-tension era.
Ooh. Is that like the post politics world? That didn't work out very well
Why
for
is there
Obama.
a hole here? Where does that hole take me?
Is that the third hole? I think you need to go down there.
I don't think I do.
You know you have a map.
That's true, but I don't.
Okay.
No, have a map. No map. Oh, map.
Yeah, there you go. It takes a minute.
Where does it want me to go?
See, I think you need to go down the hole.
I don't think so.
Okay. So here's where I'm going to go the other way. And I'm now going to say, I'm going to give the liberal argument for no gun control. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. I'm
Okay.
so ready.
Number 1, if we were to have gun control, and let's say this gun control looked like it, for example, like what they did in Florida, which is where if they get a call about someone, they can seize someone's gun if they think that they're a threat to themselves or others for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Who do you think police in America are unlike or disproportionately likely to apply that to?
I don't want to say.
Let's just say, do you think it's more or less likely that they would... Do you think a cop in Florida would be more or less likely to take a gun away from a black person than a white person?
I don't want to say.
I feel like we know the answer to this.
We do know the answer to that.
And in fact, we know the answer to this because it's history.
Yeah.
The gun control so California has pretty strict gun control laws. You know how they got those gun control laws?
How's that?
Because the NRA teamed up with Ronald Reagan, who was governor of California in 1960s,
Yeah.
to pass their gun control laws that banned open carry in the state. Not even concealed carry, open carry. You can't openly carry a gun in California in the public. And you know why they did that?
Why?
Because the Black Panthers, part of their manifesto was, hey, the Second Amendment applies to us too.
Yeah.
So they would walk around carrying guns, particularly during police confrontations, as a show of self-defense. And so Ronald Reagan, conservative hero, and the NRA teamed up to pass gun control and ban open carry in California.
And that's history.
That's history. And so you get people like Killer Mike. You know who Killer Mike is? From the rapper from Run the Jewels.
No.
Well, okay. He's a rapper from Run the Jewels, and he's pretty liberal. He was a big Bernie Sanders supporter. It's right. Okay, see up there in the right corner.
Right here?
Yes, that's where you need to go.
I don't think so. I'm trying to get there, but I have to. Okay. I've been up there many times.
Okay, so anyway, Killer Mike, big Bernie Sanders supporter, also a big advocate of black gun ownership, because he says, like, hey, it's civil rights, and if you make it harder to get guns, the first people they're going to target are going to be African Americans.
Yeah, minority groups.
And it's African Americans who are disproportionately likely to, for example, be victims of state violence.
Yeah.
Like police brutality. Right? Now, on the other hand, here's where I think he's misguided on that. Part of the reason we have, I think, such bad police violence and so many police shootings in general, whether it's whites or African Americans, although obviously it's disproportionately African Americans, is because cops in America are understandably always concerned that any interaction they get into a gun will become involved.
Yeah.
Because there's 300 million guns in this country. 40% of the country owns guns. And half the states in this country allow you to concealed carry them. And increasingly, including the state where we live, you can concealed carry without like a legit license. You just have to get a permit, but you don't even have to pass any tests here. You just like fill out a form and you don't have to register the gun or anything. And you can conceal carry in Indiana. It's remarkably easy to conceal carry in Indiana.
Look at all these
So if you're a cop and you pull over somebody, how would you not immediately, like, it's completely understandable for you to worry that they have a gun, right?
Yeah.
And when you factor in the implicit bias that we know exists among all people of African Americans being more violent, right? And like we have studies that show that all people, like this is a cultural bias built into us, that even African Americans, when they see pictures of other African Americans, they're disproportionately likely to rank them as more violent, more of a threat, older than they are, stuff like that. So when you mix those two things together, I think this is why you end up getting cops shooting so many people, because they honestly always believe, and they're right, that it could end with a gun.
I believe that, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I think Killer Mike is a little misguided there. I think it actually hurts the cause.
Yeah, Killer Mike, what's the beef?
But at the same time, I totally get his point. And here's another point I will make. Here's point number 2 I will make. Is it actually something that should be a high priority?
Gun control?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, why do you say so?
I say so because, I mean, we're engineers, and
well, that's not a good reason for gun control.
I know, but
because of the data.
Yeah, no, because of we've firsthand, like at our own workplace, like not in our office, but like
we had a shooting
exactly,
and at one of the plants.
That's what I'm saying. Like it can happen to me. That's why it can affect me. That's why I care.
Well, did you take the active shooter training? We're doing active shooter trainings now.
I did, and you throw chairs at them.
Yeah, which is just fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing. I already said that mass shootings are rare part of overall gun violence. Gun deaths overall actually not super common, right? So there's about 35,000 gun deaths per year.
35,000.
And 2/3 of those are suicides. So gun homicides is like 8,000 to 10,000 a year, right? You know how many people die of tobacco-related deaths?
I'm going to say a lot less.
400,000 a year.
Oh, a lot more.
Yes. So, by the way, stop smoking.
Yeah, I know. I did. I just quit smoking earlier today.
So, yeah, but you've quit smoking like 5 times in the last month.
I know. Well,
so that's not really quitting smoking.
Quit smoking like 2 times today.
That's just called a break between cigarettes, Jason.
It's called
That's not really
break.
called quitting smoking. That's called I have to do other things besides chain smoke.
Oh, remember this part?
And you can't smoke indoors.
Do you remember this part where you had to figure out which one's him? And it's obviously this one.
Oh, yeah.
Pain. Got him.
Yeah, I feel like I don't like this boss fight very much.
It's really hard on like a normal difficulty. But on normal, it's really easy. This is trivially easy on normal. I couldn't find my way around the cave, but boy, he looks...
It's Deadpool.
It's Trump.
It's Deadpool.
It is Deadpool. It's a good point.
That's where Ryan Reynolds got it from.
There's a whole other
a whole other part of it, yeah. Okay. 400,000 deaths due to tobacco. 200,000 due to alcohol. Every year. Whether that be alcohol poisoning, overdoses, whatever, drunk driving, etc. Right? 60,000 deaths from opioid overdoses in 2017. So almost just twice as many opioid overdose deaths as gun deaths. So here's the thing. Should it really be a big thing? Because here's the thing. Opioids killed 60,000 people.
I'm going to get real... What's the word? I want to say Southern, but how many kids die from these other causes compared to how many kids are dying due to gun violence? That would be a major factor for my decision on whether it was worth worrying about. In fact, the matter is just like the amount of just straight up, they weren't doing nothing, people that get killed. Like how many people get killed by opioids who didn't know that they weren't supposed to be taking opioids?
A lot.
They don't.
The opioid epidemic started with prescription pills.
Right, but the people
not illicit drugs.
But
I think the pharmaceutical. So here's my point to this though, because if Democrats, if they could have a bigger impact on, they could save more lives. Here's my argument.
Yeah,
Democrats could save more lives by pursuing policies such as opioid prescription drug reform. Punishing pharmaceutical companies that push these opioids, right?
Yeah.
So by reducing opioid overdoses, you could, if you reduce opioid overdoses by half, that would be the equivalent as eliminating all gun deaths. 100% of gun deaths.
Yeah.
Right? Just if you could cut opioid overdoses in half. If you could cut alcohol related deaths by 1/4, that would be equivalent to, that would be more than, like by 1/5, that would be almost equivalent to eliminating all gun related deaths. And there are policies that you could pursue to reduce alcohol related deaths, like raising the alcohol tax, for example. There are some states that actually have lower rates of alcohol related deaths because actually the state controls the alcohol supply. So like liquor stores, the only places you can buy alcohol in some places are state-owned liquor stores. So they control the supply and the locations. So they just make it less available. Like it's still legal, but like it's still there. So like these are policies that you pursue. And if you cut them by, some percentage, it would be equivalent to eliminating all gun deaths. So if your goal is to save lives, I don't know. There's a lot of other policies that you could pursue in other areas that would save more lives. Now, here's the thing. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. I think we should be doing all of these things.
Yeah,
right?
I was about to say, this seems very straw man argument-y. I don't know why we just can't do all of these things.
It's a very much a whataboutism.
Boom. Two dead bosses.
You're really good at this.
Thank you for saying that, right?
Yes.
It's nothing.
You're really good at this. But so that's my spiel. That's my defense of no gun control. And then also, but my point here was to say, okay, so for example, when we banned, people say like, oh, when prohibition existed, right, and you banned all alcohol, that wasn't effective.
That's where the drug cartels come from, right? I'm joking. Sorry.
No. That's where the mob came from. Though,
yeah.
Right. It's also where NASCAR came from. So thanks for that.
I did. Oh yeah, that's right.
So thanks for that.
We learned that from Ricky Bobby's dad.
Yep. Thanks for that. Prohibition gave us fucking NASCAR. I kid. I kind of like NASCAR. I just also kind of don't like it. But here's the thing. It actually was effective. Like alcohol consumption and alcohol related deaths decreased during prohibition. So yes, we could reduce. I think we've shown all the data. We could verifiably reduce gun related deaths if we were to like completely ban guns. But even if we were just to control guns tighter, regulate them tighter, then we could reduce gun deaths, right?
Yeah.
But is it worth it? Because we reversed prohibition because we said, okay, yeah, it raises deaths and it raises consumption. But like, I like to drink, so get off my dick.
No,
right?
yeah. But
and I feel like
the other people would say, well, I like to shoot. So
that's my point. So, but I think, and this is what I always say, I think that's the most valid argument. That is the most valid argument to make for gun control.
Yeah, it's funny though.
For to be against gun control, which is say, I like guns.
That's not true. I have a better argument for being against gun control.
Okay.
Now it's a bit.
Well, I think besides the whole minority thing, but
Well, this
and
is
civil rights.
I think this one is the strongest I think this is the strongest argument you can make against like strict gun control. If you're the kind of Sam Harris turned me on to this, and I hadn't heard anyone else make a point similar. But if you are the person who thinks that,
wait, what did you just do?
nothing.
What did he say? What can I say?
He ate something. He says weird things when you eat things. Ah, shiza.
You fucked up, son. You
I
done
did.
fucked up.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
If you're the kind of person who thinks that you shouldn't be able to buy a gun, right? Then
Okay.
then you're the kind of person who wants all conflict to be resolved by who's bigger or who has more people.
What's going on?
So three guys approach you in an alleyway and you have a gun and they don't. It equalizes the situation. Otherwise, that conflict is going to be resolved by who has more people or who's bigger.
I don't really know because now you're just making it like whoever has the bigger gun.
Well,
Which is almost, and guns are not cheap, so now it's almost like
but people,
you're giving advantage to rich people.
People are, well,
A disadvantage to poor people.
That's okay. Rich people are always going to have an advantage.
Right. We don't need to give them another win in the arena of Mortal Kombat.
If me and some buddies decided we needed to kill a guy.
Mortal Kombat.
Oh shit! If we decided we needed to kill a guy, I didn't get the alligator cap, so this is going to be a little tricky, but it's okay. I wonder if I can just like up my camo. Maybe that'll do it. No, if a bunch of us, if me and you decided we wanted to go mess somebody up with some guns, even if we had guns, and then
I do have a gun.
well, I don't because I'm not a monster. But if we decided we wanted to go mess up somebody's day, and we knew they had a gun,
Right.
we would think twice about it, as opposed to if they didn't have a gun and we did. So I mean,
I feel like you're dealing in such a weird area anyway, where if you're already talking about like.
I thought it was an interesting argument. I'm sorry.
I mean, you're already dealing with like, oh, we're gonna go mess with someone with our gun. Like, I feel like there's a lot of other factors in play other than they also have a gun.
I know, but the fact
Like
that
see, this is what I'm saying. That's the good guy with a gun argument, and I hate that.
is it a good guy with a gun argument?
Yes.
It's a good guy. I mean, it's really just it's an equalization of force argument.
That's the good guy with a gun argument.
I guess it kind of is. I'm probably wrong. You're right.
And that's really,
Hope they don't
as we
see
know, that's not very effective. Because in the meantime, the person who owns a gun for self-defense, to equalize things, is now 3.24 times more likely to kill themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And twice as likely to kill their wife or their boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest, wife, because women don't commit very much.
I'm going
homicide.
to save it right here because there's two exits to this map, and I need to go to the one with the sniper rifle first. Now, do you know what happens if I get the sniper rifle and then I watch the cutscene coming up?
No.
Well, I have an opportunity to kill the end before the fight.
Oh, yes, that's right. If you shoot him on the dock.
Have you done it?
No, I've never been able to do it.
We're about to do it.
They always see me when I walk in there.
It'll be fine. It's on normal.
So anyway, my whole thing is
It's a game for children.
I am sick and tired of the shenanigans. I'm sick and tired of the bullshit arguments about like, oh, guns don't kill people, people kill people, or, like I just want to have a legit discussion where you just say, I like guns, please don't take my guns away. Because here's the thing, here's what I think that would do. You could not change any laws at all, but if we were honest about the reality of guns, which is that people who own them just like having guns, and not that it actually helps you for personal safety. It's the opposite. It makes you more likely to die if you own a gun. People would naturally, because the gun ownership rate has been decreasing anyway. Like fewer percentage of people own guns than any other time in history. Now there's more guns out there. So what's happening is there's a small percentage of people. 3% of Americans own 50% of the guns in this country. Think about how terrifying that is. 3% of the country, so there's 300 million people, right? So I'm bad at math, but that's what, 9 million people own 150 million guns.
That seems disproportionate.
That's an average of 15 guns per person.
And I don't have 15 guns, so somebody has 30.
No, that 3% owns 150 million. Or that 9% owns 150 million. Or that 9 million owns 150 million.
Wow.
Yeah. But overall, gun ownership rate is declining. I feel like it would decrease more if we could stop this bullshit talking point about how good guys with guns. I feel like you could get the gun ownership rate down. I feel like people, because you read a lot of people who buy guns, the reasons they buy guns. And what did you do? Did you quit?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I went down, as I warned you, that's why I saved it, because I went down the wrong of the two.
Oh.
I know. I really want to shoot this guy.
Okay, anyway, I'm getting distracted again. Because a lot of people who buy guns, when you see why they buy guns, one of the reasons they give is personal safety. And I feel like that would not be, like, if we were honest and we had an honest discussion, be like, look, owning a gun makes you less safe, not more safe. Then just fewer people would buy guns. Mm-hmm. And because we know that there's a relationship between gun ownership and deaths, we could just reduce deaths. And we wouldn't even have to change laws. So that's the thing that pisses me off about the NRA, is because they're representing gun manufacturers, not even really gun owners. And so they fight everything, and they push this nonsense argument that encourages more people to buy guns. And that makes people less safe. And that frustrates the hell out of me. That is my central thesis of this whole thing.
God damn it. So I usually get the alligator cap, and I just swim through here.
So we're gonna take this time, now that you're dead, to watch this video. So John McCain passed away.
Oh yeah, he passed away. Hey, is Donald Trump invited to your funeral?
Donald Trump is not invited to my funeral.
He is also not invited to my funeral.
I'm sure he's heartbroken over it. So I want to play this. If you remember this moment, pause it.
And frankly, we're scared. We're scared of an Obama presidency.
First of all, I want to be president of the United States, and obviously I do not want Senator Obama to be. But I have to tell you, he is a decent person and a person that you do not have to be scared as president of the United States. Now, I just...
Boo. Boo, McCain.
Now, look, if I didn't think I wouldn't be one heck of a lot better president, I wouldn't be running, okay? And that's the point. That's the point.
Classy.
I got to ask you a question. I do not believe in, I can't trust Obama. I have read about him, and he's an Arab. He is not. No?
No, ma'am. He's a decent family man, citizen that I just happen to have disagreements with on fundamental issues, and that's what this campaign is all about. He's not. Thank you.
Boo.
Oh,
boo,
man.
John McCain.
What a man.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. I am not one of these people.
And by what a man, I mean at least he's not a fascist.
Right. So I'm not one of these people that likes making John McCain into more than what he was, because he was incredibly partisan. Mm-hmm. Even though he hated Trump, obviously. He voted for most of Trump's agenda. You know, he got a lot of credit for voting against the healthcare repeal.
Yeah.
But he voted for the tax cuts. He approved every single judicial nominee. Like,
but he did turn down the Obamacare repeal in a really dope way.
He did. I give him credit for that.
Yeah.
And look, McCain has lots of other stuff that he was really good on, including campaign finance reform. Mm-hmm. And he was the only Republican that cared about that. So I give him credit for that. But in general, I don't like the worship of John McCain as some kind of political maverick. But that being said, the man has passed, and if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So I'm just going to refrain from talking about his politics. And I'll just talk about the fact that in that case, yes, I think he was right. And I appreciate that. And I saw somebody that tweeted out that video, and they mentioned that was kind of a crossroads for the Republican Party, right? Mm-hmm. Because you could see what was happening there was on one hand the base saying, believing in these conspiracy theories, and first of all, let's point out, believing that Obama was an Arab and a Muslim, right?
Yeah.
but also the other layer to that, which is that being an Arab or a Muslim was bad and would somehow make them not trustworthy and not capable of being president, even if he had been. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there were two issues to that. That was a 2-layered thing. But that was clearly one wing that was developing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had McCain, which is the other wing, which is just like, hey, I like war and oligarchy.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not into the conspiracy theories and Islamophobia nonsense.
Not the Antichrist or a Muslim.
Right. Which I could at least have some amount of respect for that. You know what I'm saying? And I give him credit for that. And you know, so it's sad to see him go, but I also like the way he went out.
Watch him leave.
Oh, that was inappropriate.
Dark and sad.
I did like the way he went out though, which is like a giant middle finger to Trump.
Mm-hmm.
So, because you saw who his pallbearers were.
Yeah, I did. It was Joe
Biden was one.
Joe Biden one. I wasn't sure if he was actually.
Russ Feingold was one.
Mm-hmm.
Now he was a co-sponsor of McCain-Feingold, which is campaign finance reform bill. He was also Democrat. And also there was a Russian political dissident that was one of his pallbearers. A guy based in Moscow who writes against Putin a lot.
Huh?
Yeah, like essentially a middle finger to Trump. Obviously, we know Trump not invited to the funeral, to the ceremony. Oh, did you know who else wasn't invited?
Who's that? Oh, Sarah Palin. That's right. The hockey mom with ideas.
This is kind of what I'm talking about with McCain. It's this dual nature in McCain, which is where, all right, yeah, he was good on campaign finance reform, and he said a decent thing, and that you don't have a silencer.
Doesn't matter.
He said a decent thing to this person, right? About, hey, you know, Obama's a decent guy, right? Give him credit for that. And Obama gave a eulogy at his funeral, you know, whereas Trump didn't. Trump wasn't invited. So I give him credit for that. And he did at least try to be bipartisan in some ways. Give him credit for that. But then there was also the other part of this, which is like, hey, man, you kind of gave us Sarah Palin.
Mm-hmm. Hey.
And she was on the side of that woman in red. So this person that tweeted this out was like, hey, the GOP, this was at a fork in the road for the GOP, which is you had this woman in red who's Obama's a Muslim, or Obama's an Arab and I can't trust him. Mm-hmm. And you had McCain. And the GOP decidedly went with the woman in red.
Yeah.
They have clearly walked down that path.
Well, and I wonder if they
and
did,
Sarah Palin was part of that.
Or if Fox. Did you know if you blow these up, they'll have less ammo?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've done that before. I did that the last time I played through a few months ago. Yeah, so even though I don't like this game, I've played it through a surprising amount of times, including earlier this year. I just don't play it the same way you do.
All right, so now, I mean, I've played it every way.
And obviously I didn't play it on PS3 because I keep getting trophies. I played it on Vita.
I think the Legacy Collection has trophies on Metal Gear 4 when Metal Gear 4 originally did not have trophies, and I've yet to play Metal Gear 4 with trophies, which I think would be super fun.
I just need to play through it again anyway. I just need to find time.
I can teach you.
So anyway, McCain though, finish up. What are your thoughts on McCain?
My thoughts on McCain. What's the worst thing he's ever done? Like, what name something? People seem to like be real irritated with me for liking him. Like,
big proponent of the war in Iraq. That's not so good.
It's not so good. It's not so good.
I would say personally, there's not a lot he's done, but he is a war hawk.
A war hawk. Okay. So, yeah.
But even with him, there are people who are war hawks, I think, because they're corrupt, like, or they're just like, you know, tiny dick syndrome, which is like, I'm going to show how badass I am, or I'm going to make money for defense contracts.
Nailed it. First shot.
I've actually never done that.
Watch. Wait. You see that?
Yeah. Oh, it
kills you.
It's the wheel.
It one-shots you if it hits you.
Wow. I've never done that.
But hey, guess what?
You know what I did the last time? That last time I played this earlier this year, I did the thing where I paused the game and I waited 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
And then he died on it. He died.
Well, that's what happened to me the first time. Is that the first time you played?
No. I did it this year.
Because I was playing it at my grandmother's house when I originally had it.
Oh no.
And I
I never did it by accident.
And I saved it, and then I went away, and I came back, and he had died. Oh, sorry, I looked at the wrong. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. Yeah, you can
Took care of that.
on any difficulty. Like for the most part, they can't come up from behind you, so you can just sit here and lay waste to them. And I bet I did. Oh, there's more.
Yeah, but they don't go away. They just keep coming.
No, they don't. They stop.
Oh.
They stop. In every difficulty, they stop coming eventually. Sometimes it just seems like they won't.
Okay, so anyway, even there's a lot of people out there that I think are war hawks because they're like, I'm going to make money for defense contractors, or I have tiny dick syndrome and I want to show that I have a big gun and that's going to make me feel better, right? I honestly think even McCain, I think he probably comes from that old school mentality, especially that Cold War era where it's
having
like
a tiny wiener.
no, no. I think he comes from it from that
Horrible thing to
Soviet, yeah. Well, you know, Ted Cruz, he can deal with it.
Yeah.
But I think McCain came from it from that standpoint of what we had in like the Soviet era, the Cold War era, where it was you had them on backwards.
Oh, okay. I don't though, because it says left, and it feels.
Oh, okay.
I'm right.
I see what you're
I was right all along.
Sorry, Jason was messing with the headphones.
Yes.
Apologize. No, I think he comes from that Cold War era of we can actually use like military intervention to do good. Right? That like because clearly we did it in World War II. I think it's hard to argue that World War II was not the right thing to do. Getting involved.
The Kennedys made an argument to stay out of it.
Yeah. I know. And I feel like liberals today would make an argument, and I'm a little uncomfortable with that.
Yeah, well.
But at the same time, like, I mean, getting involved in Korea and Vietnam didn't work out too well.
So what would you say to a person who says, so yeah, I think Donald Trump is a bit fascisty, but I like what I like. Hold on, but then you're talking to somebody and go, Donald Trump is a bit fascisty, but I like what he's doing on taxes. What do you say to that person? Because I know what I say to that person.
I say you're an accomplice.
I say you're an appeaser.
An appeaser, yeah.
Appeaser. I think
I say you're privileged, and it's easy to not worry about it because it doesn't affect you. So have some compassion for people. That's what I say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your tax cuts are not worth the crumbling of our... Because here's the thing. This is the other thing about, like, people that are like, oh, socialism sucks and all that stuff. And I'm not a communist. I'm not a socialist at all. Right?
Yet.
I'm not.
Slippery slope. It's
Slippery
a gate.
slope.
It's the gateway. Paul.
Democratic socialism is the gateway.
Yeah.
Actually, I do kind of worry about that. We'll talk about that at some point. But I'm not a socialist. I'm not a communist. But I'm also, I don't believe in, like, I'm not libertarian, obviously. And I'm not capitalist. I believe in a strong, healthy social democracy with a robust welfare state.
Yeah, a lot of girth.
Yeah, very girthy welfare state. And I even have a problem calling it welfare state because I think it's just social solidarity. And I think we should be encouraging co-ops and other pseudo-Marxist ideas, but they should be not legally enforced.
That's, ladies and gentlemen, that's Marxism, but like wearing a suit.
Yes, SUITO,
yeah.
Marxist.
Pseudo-Marxism.
Pseudo-Marxism.
Yeah.
What if it's like suit-o-Marxism?
I bet
it's a suit of Marxism.
Yep, sure can.
Do you think it's a suit of Marxism? What would a suit of Marxism look like? Would it just be a red suit?
It'd be a Lenin of spades and a Stalin of clubs.
Oh, you're thinking cards. I was thinking like suits, like you wear a suit.
No, I was, but then I thought you were saying a suit of, and I was like, well, suit of would mean of cards. Well,
so yeah, I don't know. I feel like suit of Marxism. I meant like a suit that you wear. I feel like it'd just be red. But anyway, that's me. But so I'm not a socialist or a communist, but my argument has always been that, like, when people are like, oh, socialism has never worked, and I'm like, it's such a high school argument against.
Well, it's also not supposed to be run that way, right?
Well,
yeah. It's supposed to be like mild amounts of socialism, just injected in slowly. Until
I mean,
cost
like,
of production approaches cost of material, and then you go communism. That's Star Trek plan, right? That's the Star Trek plan.
No, Star Trek plan is based on like Star Trek plan only works if you have unlimited resources
But
and
that's
a small population.
but that's like so. For example, like communism in Russia. My current understanding of it is that you're not supposed to like do some socialism a little bit and then all of a sudden be communist. Like it's supposed to take like it's just the ultimate like thing is that no one needs money, no one works about it. You want a soda, go to the soda hole and then get your free soda.
No,
Well,
that's
I
not
think
really
like ultimately that's what we want. That's what everybody should want, right? Is to like just
No,
no.
I don't think you should want that. I don't think most people should want that.
You really want people should just like have replicators?
No, I don't want to get in this discussion right now because I could do a whole thing about.
I'm
how
not a communist, but I am pro Star Trek. I'll say
I am
that.
pro Star Trek.
I'm pro Star Trek.
I'm pro communist if we had replicators.
Did you know you don't have to knock? You can knock on this door and he comes out.
Hey, just a second.
No, I did not.
Yes, that's how I always go because it's funny.
Wow. No, I'm pro I'm pro communism if we were a Star Trek universe, which is where we had infinite resources. That's the way I think communism would work. Until we have infinite resources.
We're in the temple, baby.
And even then, it's iffy because I have a whole argument about how, and in fact, it's a Jordan Peterson style argument about different people appreciate hierarchies and stuff like that. That I just don't necessarily know that. I don't know that a lot of people would even want to be communist necessarily. But we'll get into that discussion at some point. So I'm not a communist. I'm not a socialist. But my whole point is, it's such it's such a bargain basement argument to be like socialism never worked is like because the inverse of that is like why are you teabagging this guy?
The poor Russian soldier. He'll never know.
It's because of Trump, isn't it?
He'll never know. Yeah, I'll imagine it. He's Paul Manafort.
Oh, well, that's what
That's what he said. That's what he said.
That's our position. That's our position.
That's our position.
Classic.
So, do you remember how he looks in the?
Okay, well, let me finish my point here. Oh yeah.
He's got his bandana on still.
Yeah. Well, but you're supposed to put on the riding mask.
You don't know. You don't have to.
Oh, but you're supposed to.
No. It's not for that.
But I like it.
It's not for that.
But I like it.
It's not what it's for.
But I like it.
Dude, I have done horrible things to these people.
Because now you're doing a bandana. And I like the riding mask. I like riding. Okay, anyway, to finish my point, it's such a bargain basement argument because the assumption being like socialism never worked, therefore we have to go to capitalism because capitalism always works. And it's like, my thing has always been like, hey, you know that all these socialist revolutions and communist revolutions in Soviet Union or, in Venezuela or in Cuba, these things all happened because of a failure of capitalism before that, right? It's not like people just woke up one day and were like, you know what? We're going to have a violent revolution to completely change the structure of the country just because we feel like it. We just want to try something new. No, they did it because there was a failure of the economic system that existed where the inequality and the concentration of wealth and power became untenable to enough people that they felt like their only recourse was a communist revolution.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just so
you mean that lady from the Bronx isn't going to make us socialist?
No. I have my own issues there, but
Cortez? There's no way.
I like
like
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
There's no way he caught me. What?
Oh, you got screwed.
That's BS.
You got screwed.
That is such BS. Fuck you.
You got screwed.
Whatever. I'm here.
But he won't come out today.
He will. It'll go away. I could probably go now if I have to guess.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's got to go to caution.
It's okay. I got a box. They won't find me in my box.
It's not in camouflage.
No, but I don't think I can be in a box in the scientist outfit. That's my
point.
Oh. Box. I knew it was a good idea to grab that box. But it's okay. Well.
So anyway. That was a long-winded episode.
I know. I say we end it in the box. You want to end it in the box?
I do. What do you think is in the box?
Snake.
Yeah. Is it a box of snakes?
No. I feel safe in the box. I feel warm.
Is it a safe space?
It's a safe space.
Uh-oh. He sees it.
Gotcha. Well, turns out I'm bad at Metal Gear.
This is a very disappointing finish. But, I don't know. Anyway, Metal Gear Solid 3.
As she is played.
Actually, You did a pretty good job. You played it differently, but I don't know that it's going to change my opinion of it. I still prefer Metal Gear Solid 2.
It's all right.
I'm going to take that to my grave.
Well, we'll just play this until you like it.
R.I.P. John McCain.
Aw.
Yeah, I know.
All right. See you guys.
The Maverick.
later.
No, I'm going to do the wrap up here.
Oh, do the wrap up.
I'm going to do the wrap
Do
up.
the wrap up.
So.
While we shoot Snake.
Oh, and I just want to. Yeah. Poor Snake.
This is our gun violence episode.
Yeah. This is what happens. This is what happens.
Aw.
Oh wow.
He died like
that
Anakin.
wasn't a gun. Oh wow. That was a very Anakin looking move. The reach out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, just to be clear, we haven't done an episode in a couple of weeks because you've been busy. You're moving.
I was moving.
But I'm hoping we're going to get back on a regular schedule. We're going to be trying to upload every weekend.
Yes.
I'm going to try to get them out by Sundays, although football season's starting now. That's going to be a little more difficult, but I'm going to try to get it done. I'm going to make it happen.
Make it happen.
I'm going to make it happen, Captain. All right. So, we're going to try to get back on our schedule, releasing a video every Sunday. Again, just to do the housekeeping, we have an email, don'tcallmepretentious@gmail.com. Send us an email. If you send us hate mail, I will read it and mock you on air. Actually, I feel like I shouldn't have said that because now I'm just going to get hate mail just so people read it. But I might do. We might read it. But please try to send us constructive email.
Yeah.
If you disagree with something we said, something I said, because I talk a lot about this shit, let me know. If you have ideas or if you have suggestions of a game you'd like to see us play, go ahead and leave a comment on the video or send us an email. You can get us on Facebook, facebook.com/don'tcallmepretentious. Twitter, twitter.com/ or I guess, I don't know if it's a slash. Twitter.com @DCM_pretentious. And then twitch.com. Don't call me pretentious, but there's nothing there. I don't estimate we'll be streaming anytime soon. And then obviously, youtube.com/don'tcallmepretentious. Like, comment, subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Share.
Bye.
YOLO!